There it is. I don't know why it resets every single time, but it sure does. All right, so boom. Go into our chat screen so you can see now. Welcome. We did it. We're going live today. We almost didn't go live because we didn't have internet. So, but that got resolved. So we got some internet. So we're live. Make sure to get some of that merch. Help us out. Help us stay alive. That'll be awesome. But I got a special guest in the studio today. I'm going to introduce my good friend, Mr. Tone. Say hello, Mr.
Aloha.
Tone.
Hello.
Definitely. So let's see here. We're going to switch our screen up so we can both kind of be live here. Actually, I believe we can do this with that. Look at that. We're both live. We're both chatting. And it looks like we both have audio playing through here. So it looks like we are all good. So, yeah, that's what I need to do. I still need to move my computer up there. I keep messing up and not doing that. So I can see the computer screen and actually talk to you directly. But, yeah, it's a beautiful day. We had a beautiful 4th of July. It's been a wonderful time so far. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the legal mushrooms, the ones that you can find in your local areas, but specifically one of our main sponsors here, Soulfire Mushrooms, and the amazing products that they produce. Tone here is the herbalist for that product. Tone, you want to give yourself a quick introduction?
So my name is Anthony Kahawaii. Born in Hawaii. I live out in Oregon now with my family, but during the time of my transitioning from Hawaii to Oregon, I got into growing flowers. And during that time, I started analyzing, how plants are very similar to humans. And so what I try to do, is I try to bring more of a natural way of healing by mimicking the way plants intake their nutritional intake the same way we do, So basically, what we've come, me and Willie T, what I partnered up with, where we basically came to the function of mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, lion's mane, reishi, chaga, cordyceps, Like we all know about the miracle benefits. I'm also got TikTok live on right now, so. But we all know about the miracle benefits that these types of mushrooms can bring us. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think a lot of people do know. I think that's been the biggest, misconception. And we also have another sponsor, UDG, is coming at us, and they are creating some fun content on what the world would look like if mushrooms were never taboo. Because for many years, mushrooms have been kind of a taboo thing. And so I think it's really great, the thing they're working on. And I think a lot of people, we're waking up to it. But I think for years, you got to remember, at one particular time, if you were a woman and you practiced anything with herbs or mushrooms in the forest, well, that probably wasn't going to end for you very well, especially if you lived in a place called Salem. I ain't talking about Oregon, okay? So yeah, tell a little people about, about the lion's mane and about the reishi, and just let the people who know maybe have no clue about mushrooms. They're probably thinking mushrooms on my pizza. That's all I eat. The ones on the pizza and the one from my drug dealer. So
yeah, no, I totally get it. But okay, so if for folks that don't know about the mushrooms we're talking about, these mushrooms aren't, I guess, well known, like he's saying, now that he's bringing it into the light, but the miracle benefits that these mushrooms bring all has to do with how the earth works and how mycelium, right, works with the earth and the plants. All right. Now, our bodies are just like is a mimic of our natural environment, just like our the world, and we intake about the same nutrients as well as plants do, right? Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So, anyways, when you're talking about that, right? Mushrooms have what's known as mycelium, and if you folks don't know what that is a fungus that that fruits mushrooms. All right. Mycelium has an interconnection with our natural environment, with plants. It helps them to communicate with one another, and it also helps them to share nutritional intake from one plant to the next plant. That's why when you like look at forests and everything, right, they all have a similar color to it. It's because they're all sharing a nutritional uptake. And so mushrooms, right, the type of mushrooms we're talking about, medicinal mushrooms, reishi, lion's mane, these mushrooms are finding out that they have the same type of benefits that they do with the earth that they can do with us humans, especially when it comes to the mind. Certain mushrooms like the lion's mane has certain miracle benefits like clearing up brain fog, being able to turn on neurons that's been shut off or fucking, excuse my language.
Straight up brain repair.
Right, it's brain repair, yo.
I'm not even gonna lie, Tony, when we were doing this and we were first doing our project, I had been involved in a car accident and I could feel, the stuttering in my brain on the psilocybin session.
Right.
And so I was taking my microdosing. And Tony was like, yeah, but have you had the mentalism yet? I'm like, dude, I got access to, the ones I'm not supposed to have access to. So,
yeah.
And I tried the mentalism, and it was amazing what the lion's mane really helped accomplish. Like, I was really on point that day, really awake, and it was really impressive how much this legal mushroom had worked so well. And I was even blown away at one of the mushroom fest where I was trying to get a couple different cultivars, and the psilocybin cultivars were all $10 and $15 for a syringe, but they were wanting $25 and $35 for a syringe of lion's mane.
Yeah, I know, it's starting to get ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
it's really amazing what that really does for you.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
And it's the combination of the herbs with it too that's in there. That's
yeah,
really
so the miracle,
friction.
really the benefits is in the mushrooms, right? The miracle benefits. And what I introduce, right, is bringing adaptogen herbs like frictionized type of herbs like ginger, cayenne pepper, right? What we're doing is we're going to be releasing the factors of the miracle benefits from the mushrooms by integrating these mixtures so that they can cause a type of friction, right? It's like a pre-friction stimulated state, so that when you intake it, it's already starting to react. You know what I'm saying? So, because the one thing about mushrooms, or just about any type of herbal medicine, right? We tend to, if you look, we tend to intake a lot of it, right? When you're trying to find change or just get into it, the result is always having to intake a lot. You never know how much you're intaking. You don't know where the line is to where it's benefiting you or it's not benefiting you. And so what we want to do is we want to introduce the body into it slowly. So what you want to do is gradually put it into small doses of introduction. The body, just like I said, is just like a plant, right? And we can't just override it with nutrients, it needs to be introduced so that it can intake it to the most benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
You know, I was watching. I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt
go
your
ahead.
thought.
Go ahead,
I was
yeah.
watching a funny episode of Matt Pat. One of his theory shows. He does
Right.
like game theory and film theory,
Uh-huh.
and it was on this cartoon. But I was so moved by it because he had pointed out, the relationship that we have, between the three different kingdoms. We being the animal kingdom, we breathe in oxygen, we produce carbon dioxide. The plants breathe in the carbon dioxide, produce oxygen.
Right.
And it's really amazing too because they use, the word is slipping my mind. The plants produce sugars, right? Natural sugars,
Right.
and that's what they use. But see, to photosynthesize, and here we are. We actually use that sugars to stay alive as well. Like the relationship
yeah.
between it all is so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
and
it
here
is,
mycelium is in between it all. Creating that cohesiveness and that working together.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it would only
Glucose.
make sense.
Yeah, glucose. That's the word. Yeah. Well, shout outs to Cassandwich showing up. We appreciate you. Gotta get you on the show one day. Yeah. So, that relationship between us and the plants and the herbs, I think we've gotten so far away from that. We think we can create, medicines that just solve us. But a lot of these medicines are, less than 50 years old.
Right.
A lot of these medicines are, it's just barely been in human contact with us for the civilizations. And it has prolonged our living. But, can we equate that to the medicines prolonging our living? Or is it also just a basic understanding of how germs and bacteria works and being cleaner? Not many people are dying of dysentery now. Because we have decent plumbing, So that's a good question to raise, right?
Well, one thing about it is keeping it a healthy state,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't really practice the reliance of keeping a healthy routine,
No.
So, it's not really put out there. So what we do is we got to take it into our own hands to create it for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
That's why getting into herbalism is kind of taking your power, right? You're taking it into yourself and basically doing research and getting into what helps you and what is not beneficial and what is beneficial, you know what I'm saying?
And not every herb needs extracted. Sometimes just a natural herb works wonderful, right?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what we do is the reason why we focus on mushrooms is because of the healing it does with throughout the body. The mushrooms don't have just a one area healing factor. They have a many level healing factors. All right. Now over here we're gonna talk about something known as the endocannabinoid system, And if you don't know what that system is, I highly advise going and doing your research on it. But the system works as a sensory system within the body that helps to regulate and distribute your nutrition throughout the body where it needs it, right? Because as we start to age, this this distributor, right, starts to wear down within the body. So mushrooms, right, being that they share an intake with nature via mycelium through a mycosia of sharing nutritional intake within the plants, right, has the same type and similar type of way of doing it like the plants do. So intaking the mushrooms would create that kind of mycosia between body parts is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. So you're basically upkeeping your body into what's known as what is that called? Homeostasis state. Yes. So that's a balance between the mind and the body and keeping that balance, right? And so that system helps to regulate the nutritional intake, keeping your body into a homeostasis balance. And so that's why like mushrooms bring out that potential, right? And you can tell adaptogen herbs because they work with that system. Now, if you'll find other herbs that just have a focus in one area, right? If you do your research, on herbs, you'll find herbs that focuses on one area, but then you have herbs that'll focus on many, right? The ones that focus on many, those are known as adaptogen herbs, all right? Now, adaptogens is what you get in your stores. You know what I'm saying? These are all the spices and all of that is what's on the shelves. Because these are herbs that we know work well with the body to where the body can intake it on its own without the reliance of having to be on it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why what we doing, me and my partner here, we take the friction from these adaptogen herbs, right? So where they won't harm the body. And what we're doing is we're causing a friction by putting them together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So once you put them together, and I mean putting them together in a powdered, frictionized form, you know, getting down to, like I said, herbalism's you gotta think on a cellular level, right? Because that's where the change comes, and that's why it takes a little while for us to see results. So what we got to do is we got to be smarter with our supplements and think of ways to releasing the benefits faster in a more natural way.
In a more natural way.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I studied how penicillin works, right? Just in case, things are getting crazy out there. And I was blown away to discover that the high doses of penicillin that most people are given for, penicillin, amoxicillin, and various other, psyllins to help fight infections, like specifically lung infections and things like that, or tooth infections and things like that.
And those are all fungus.
Yeah, they're all fungus derived,
right?
And they grow on like cantaloupe, right?
Similar to mushrooms.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And the thing is like when you take it through oral process, you're taking like a 500 milligram dose, but only about 10 milligrams is what your body needs to absorb. Right. And so roughly 490 milligrams is designed just to really just go through your system and get kicked out, and it's through, other means, intravenous means is how you're actually supposed to get your shots, but nobody wants to get, a shot for an infection, right? So,
I don't.
So we've gotten used to that.
Yeah.
And, that's
shots,
how it is with our bodies. A lot of things, like vitamin D, we consume a lot of vitamin D, but we only, actually consume a small portion of that. Most of that goes out through our system. And so having that's part of the creating that friction and creating that exposure, so your body knows, hey, I'm going to absorb a little bit more of this each time that it goes through, Right.
And so that's kind of what we're developing with the mushrooms, is that type of system with the mycelium network, right? Because the network is very similar to what we can do within us, and so that's the type of accomplishment that I'm talking about, right? Because it's an extra boost. Because the thing is that herbs and medicine, today's medicine, they have a clashing, right? But with mushrooms, right, we are able to utilize that to where we can work together. What I talk about is the distribution center between the nutrients, right? But it's not just nutrients, it's also your medicine. The body knows where the medicine needs to go, right? But without that factor of it, of that system, right, being able to distribute it in the places it does need, then, that's why, like, the medicine nowadays, if we intake mushrooms, people are so afraid that it'll clash, but it won't. They actually will work together. And the thing is with modern medicine is that, like I said, they're not adaptogen herbs, right? So they don't heal on many levels, and they also are meant to harm, while in the process of healing. So
they're meant to just give you a little bit of relief.
But see, the thing
so you got to come back tomorrow with a little bit more money, okay? Just a little bit more money.
With mushrooms, we can deter all of that, right? Because mushrooms works to where, like I said, it's an assistant. The reishi mushroom, right, is the master mushroom. And it is the master of all, and it can work with everything and anything. So now when we're talking about medicine, today's medicine, it will help to distribute the factors of those medicine within the body. And not just that, but heal the surrounding areas where it's being caused. So like I said, the modern medicine is not an adaptogen, so it heals, but it causes damage to the outer layers, right? So that's why when you go and get medicine from the doctors, they keep having to give you more and more and more, because each one is affecting an outer layer, but the reishi, will help with the distribution to where it's protecting the outer layers, right, while the healing is being done by that medicine, that type of medicine. That's why, like, there's a way where we can all work together, like, I believe it, right? I believe in our modern medicine and the way we're doing it today, as long as it's meant to help the world. I don't agree with the prices, but that's
right.
why, like, herbal medicine is, like, really a way for us to walk, especially,
Well, and it's a good combination of the two.
It really is.
I mean, you
it's
need the both, right?
So.
Yeah, like.
And you also get in tune with your spirit. Like, I'm a very spiritual individual. I walk with the spirit, but I believe that nature is a more spiritual, that we can tap in more with nature through our spirit than we do trying to get physical with it. You know what I'm saying? We want to save the whales, Yeah, cleanse your spirit, because the thing is that, kind of, we got to learn to to cleanse ourselves so that we can, everything else around can cleanse itself. Because, there's, the laws of nature will never stop overlapping and healing itself, Like, we come to a notion that we think we can heal everything, but nature already has that covered, All we need to do is tend to ourselves, So mushrooms helps with the opening of the mind so that we can come up with more healing factors. Lion's mane, chaga, cordyceps, these are all beneficial mushrooms. I would go into the healing factors, but the list is so long. You know what I'm saying? The list is huge, And so, like, now that we know the list, it's about releasing it, right? It's about focusing on how we can get it quicker without having to use chemicals. You know what I mean? So what
I think that's the biggest. I think there's an old Chinese proverb that we learned in school when I was going through training for the psilocybin services, and it was, the doctor does not heal you. What he will do is he will clean up a wound. He will sew the skin together so it's nice and formed together close by. But it's our own body that heals us.
Yeah.
The doctor isn't healing you, isn't forming new cells, isn't reattaching those, connections. Maybe putting a couple stitches in to make sure to provide the most opportunity moment to heal. But even if the stitches fall out, you still have the potential to heal.
Yeah.
And I think our minds are the same way too. It's all within ourselves. We just have to find the things that help us heal and help us provide the opportune moments to heal, help our immune systems to fight the things that are coming at us, help our neural pathways reconnect. But it's all us that makes it happen. And I think that's one thing we need more of. The doctor isn't solving our problems. The doctor is just providing the most opportune position so we can solve our problems, so we can heal from ourselves, heal for ourselves.
And the thing is that most of the people in the medicine is all by rules right now,
The
rules are made to keep people safe, and I get it.
Our system, though, is designed on.
It's also holding us back, is what I'm trying to say.
Our system is designed for 2 books, and if you're an insurance company, you get paid by the diagnosis on 1 or 2 of these books, and so it really puts our healthcare providers in an awkward position where they have to label you a particular way so that way you can register for the health insurance to pay for the services. And I think that's a system that definitely doesn't improve overall health. And it really puts our healthcare providers in a bad position. It puts our pharmacies in a bad position too. And I think that just that system, doesn't necessarily work. But that's a conversation for a different day.
I'm just making it more aware, like, about adaptogen herbs.
Exactly.
The thing is
I'll be the one that talks smack on the system.
I want people to be more on discovering herbs, but I want you folks to be safe, because the thing is that there's herbs out there that will definitely progress the hurt more than it would do the healing, yo. You know what I'm saying? So what you need to do is be very selective, right? Because if you do not go with adaptogens, then you're going with one herb that's going to cause something, then you're going to have to find another herb to counter that herb, right?
Yeah.
So adaptogen saves all that mess, you know. So, you know, until you get more advanced into your herbalisms, stick with the ones that will work with the body, that is 100% safe. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you know, discover yourself, discover a new way of living. You know what I mean? And
there's a great comment I want to read. Thank you, Crown. In America, doctors are our third leading cause of death. That's why Big Pharma makes loads of billions and will not promote nutrition, because keep people sick and keeps people, by the way, sick and unhealthy. I think that goes with, that's an old, The Art of War opens with that conversation about a doctor who, you know, is well known and famous, and the other doctor is not as well known.
Yeah.
And the other doctor says, well, I'm not well known because I tried to cure sickness before it becomes a sickness. The other doctor is well known because he punctures veins and saws legs and does all this crazy stuff.
I'm going to be honest, yo. I think
that's how he's well known.
I love them. I think doctors have a way of healing the world, except I think got to be more open on the medicine, yo.
Yeah.
I think
well, our states
the theories,
too,
yo, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
the theories of it, because we're keeping us like, okay, like let's take this theory for example, all right? Harmonic healing. All right, harmonic healing, yo. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we're more into a chemical theory of how the body is healing and how it's intaking its nutrients, right? But we haven't gone into the functions that our body is made of 90% water, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The ocean, right? All living creatures are communicating through vibrational harmonic frequencies. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. So that right there is just an example that tells us, like I said, our planet is a great example of what goes on within us. That's why the healing process is also mimicked the same way. You know what I mean? So like, we have to see our body just like an ocean, right? And so we're talking about vibrational type of healing. Herbs that cause this type of vibrational healing. Mushrooms are known to be possibly able to have this type of harmonic healing, because the fact is that it's reaching many levels of the body. Chemically, it wouldn't make sense having to travel those distances, right? But what makes sense more is if it's pulsating, right? Like a Bluetooth, basically, right? And so, you know, we gotta. I believe that, you know, that we keep ourselves stagnant by putting these rules into place when we should be opening.
Once again, it's finding that balance, right?
Yeah,
it's finding that balance between the two.
Yo, but I enjoy
both are important.
Medicine, yo. I support all our doctors here today, and I love the healers of the world, yo. And so I just believe that we should be doing it for the right reason, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody else believes with us, yo. So
yeah,
we all can see where it's leading just by the prices, and now we can't really be able to. So what I'm trying to announce is, yo, let's get into it ourselves, right? Let's pick up adaptogen herbs. Let's look into it. Let's discover a new way of healing ourselves. Let's discover a new way of healing the world, yo. So, you know, it's common sense stuff, yo. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. You know, and
we got used to a lifespan of low age, yo. Like, that's not real. You know what I mean? Like, if you look into the old days, their lifespan was way longer. Like, we starting to shorten the lifespan and get used to it, yo, and that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta see ourselves as longevity, because really it's about keeping the knowledge here on earth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge is dissipating a lot quicker because our lifespans is going. But now we got things like the internet, but we can't control the knowledge that's been given now, you know. People can dictate their paths any direction now. So, you know, and all we can do is throw these kinds of things out here, my platform, you know, my TikTok platform. And
well, it's like the conversation about
aware,
cannabis and
so.
the endocannabinoid system. I mean, you got to remember, it wasn't too long ago that just being a doctor and talking about the potentials of cannabis, you could lose your license. But, you know, strong organizations formed. They worked on changing the rules around that, and now nurses and doctors are able to openly talk about cannabis use to a client without fear of being canceled or anything like that. Like we're probably going to be, because we said the word cannabis and endocannabinoid system, but we're not looking to monetize. So
I know. I wish they would change the
fine.
name of that. You know, that's why I be calling it the ECS system.
Yep.
You know, and
yeah. The platform that gets the most views, you definitely cannot use those particular words. And I'm sorry if you're going to get kicked off because I realize you're on one right now. Are you on Reels or Reels hasn't been kicking off as much lately.
I'm on TikTok Live right now.
Right.
And I do most Reels though, and I believe that the medicine of our herbs connects to the medicine of our energy. Mm-hmm. All right. So when I also, if you go on my TikTok, I preach herbs and I teach inspirational influence because they go hand in hand.
What's your TikTok?
You know what I'm saying? It's Soul Fire Grower.
Nice.
Also Soul Fire Harmonics, but they go hand in hand. You gotta in the old days, right? We just gonna talk some old traditional stuff. The herbs, right? They used to get activated through chants and songs, You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, you see all these tribes and the natives and dancing around after they intake the herbs. They're not just dancing around because it is because it is a stimulation of harmonic activation, You know what I'm saying? And that's real. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's the type of boundaries that's keeping us away from medicine that can be healing us on a factor of where it's truly beneficial, right? So
yeah, you better have a permit for that. Don't forget, you want to dance and do all that stuff, you better have a permit.
And awaken the herbs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we can see some changes in that in the near future. Definitely. Any difference between because I know there's a lot of products on the market, and a lot of products are using like mycelium only, which is kind of one step off for growing, because you have mycelium. That mycelium grows into mushrooms, and this mycelium is grown in like wheat or oats or some other type of
mycelium
grain.
See, that's the thing with the mycelium that's being grown in the labs is we hear it kind of take away from the miracle benefits, right? Because of the nutritional intake. The forest is a lot more fertile with its nutritional intake. Mm-hmm. So when the mycelium is feeding on it, it's really actually taking in the real miracle benefits. So when we grow them in labs, and all of it is good, right? But it's just a lower dosage of it. It's just watered down. Is like what I'm trying to say, But when you grow them in labs, with just grain, you just kind of taking in the nutrients that the grain has, and it's only it's a watered down kind of situation. But it's all beneficial the same, right?
Yeah, it's all beneficial the same.
And the thing with mycelium, is that we're still.
But is there a difference between fruiting body mushrooms and mycelium produced products?
Actually, that's still one of the things that's
still on debate, right?
Discovery, because everyone has their differences on how it works, right? And I believe I would have to say it would be more on a mycelium level, just because it's the factors of nature has much more effect via the mycelium network than it does with the fruiting body of the mushroom, The fruiting body of the mushroom is made for the species, right, that walk around. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to mimic the world, right? And so in order to do that, you need to create a mycelium system within yourself so that you can cause a mycosia between body parts so that they can share nutritional intake and information, especially with the mind, You know what I'm saying? So when I talk about harmonic frequency, the mind is a big factor because it's all frequency, So now we're covered in water, 90% water, so trust me, it's vibrating within you. You know what I'm saying? And so mushrooms, the fruiting body of it has a lot to do with the pulsating, right, that goes on. And I would have to say that the mycelium factor has a lot to do with
nice.
Building more of a system where you can be more immune to things. You know what I mean? So
That's great. That's great. How about turkey tail? I've heard so much good things about turkey tail.
Turkey tail is really one of the best mushrooms when it has to do with polysaccharides. So if you don't know what polysaccharides is, polysaccharide K is what they're finding in turkey tail that has it has what do they call that, nutrients to help break down cancerous cells. You know what I'm saying? Now, how turkey tail became famous was through a known mushroom fanatic, and his name is Paul Stamets. All right, and if you don't know who that is,
I think I might have a picture I could show y'all.
Yeah, if you don't know who Paul Stamets is, definitely go check him out, because this dude is the one that brought it. He brought everything to the light, right? And so he's still one of the leading researchers in mushrooms.
Here he is, right here for y'all.
But the thing with turkey tail and why it became so famous is because he cured his mother of cancer, right? Or so say. But he is a big forefront runner on the turkey tail and the releasing of these polysaccharides and the discovery of them. The polysaccharides is what they're still trying to look into on how it's affecting our body, right? And when according to my theory, right, it's working more with the endocannabinoid system on the distribution of where the nutrients need to go. So, the polysaccharides, like I said, it's like a harmonic tone, right? So to me, the polysaccharides is more like a Bluetooth tuning, You know what I'm saying? So you got one polysaccharide that's tuning throughout the body, right? Hitting all these sensors that's throughout the body, known as your ECS system, and the ECS system is letting the body know where it needs the healing at. And so once that is known, right, it starts to trigger these areas, releasing cannabinoids into these little areas to where it helps the body heal in those certain areas. We have our own endogenous cannabinoids, right? And so what we want to do is we want to utilize them in order to bring more of a healing factor. So that's why polysaccharides is very important. And the reishi's got you're talking 10,000 polysaccharides, or it's freaking something insane, So you could imagine one polysaccharide with the harmonic toning, right, just pulsating through the body. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
And if you take them in smaller doses and you're on a constant, right, routine of it, right, then it's just constantly pulsating through your body, constantly healing your body, constantly triggering, letting the body know where nutrients is so that your body can flow, the blood can flow, the muscles can loosen on the tension. There's certain things that, can all come together once certain areas is healed, right? So
yeah. Isn't that what the cordyceps do? The cordyceps open up our capillaries.
Yeah, the cordyceps is actually it's really magic.
And it's not to be confused with the not Among Us. The Last of Us, right? You know, it's not going to be
The Last of Us,
the one that eats us all. It turns us into mindless zombies.
Turn you into zombies, yo. But
yo, that's the same one. I guess Among Us could have been the fungus one, right? Too. Like, I don't know if you're a player of Among Us. It's this game where you're on a spaceship. It's so funny.
Nah, yo,
you could play it even in 3D world, but you know, you have basically a bunch of players, and then one of them is the imposter. And they get to sneak around, and the goal is to kill all the other players. Right. And it's kind of like Clue, but like a hyped version. But now that we're saying as like that could be the way that they got Among Us was a fungus.
Yeah.
Just like the cordyceps.
Well, the cordyceps is pretty interesting, yo.
Yeah, but
it
a lot
grows off of bugs.
Yeah, but a lot of football players and various other stars live by this. They say it opens up the oxygenation of our blood, and it helps the blood flow a lot better with it. And one of the benefits to taking cordyceps. So.
Yeah, the cordyceps has a lot to do with cell regeneration, rejuvenation too, as well. That's why they say that it's like a magical medicinal mushroom, yo.
And I gotta tell you, when I
helps to keep you young, yo. You know what I'm saying? By rejuvenating the cell structure.
Yeah, when we ground the cordyceps, because we used to do our own blending, but now all our partners do it for us. It smells amazing. I don't know why, but it just has such a great smell to it. I really always enjoyed blending up that, but I'm glad now that our partners do all that, because it was a pain in the butt to grind up so many mushrooms.
But the aroma is made to attract us, so it's like.
We got some good information coming in from Crown here, and if you ever want to join the show, just message me. We'll get you in here, okay? Yeah, he says drinking water is good, but eating your water can cure cancer. Eating your water from fruits, which is
eating your water, huh?
That's where we get a lot of our. You know, like if you make like a compote, I really love a compote. You don't add any water to it because the water is already in the strawberries or blueberries.
Right.
And so it just absorbs down into that, which ends up making your delicious natural compote, which, you know, I probably don't need any more of that.
Hey, I like that.
But hey, I like the table to farm, you know.
That's a 2-to-1 combo, dude.
And we live near Tillamook, so, you know, I would consider Tillamook still, you know, farm to table, just because that's where we live, you know. So. But I love that. I had I recently just consumed a little something for the 4th of July, and I was actually chopping strawberries, and I was having like a whole thing with seeing the inner workings of the strawberry. I even held my little light up. It was like, and seeing the water and how it's held in its thing. And it's really beautiful, like I said earlier, with the way we're all interconnected. The plants between us, the plants, the fungus. You know, we all think of ourselves as like these single individuals. Like, you know, one day we're gonna fly ourselves to some new planet.
Well, we got more reliant on others, yo.
But the reality is we need everything. We need our bees.
Right.
We need our plants. We need our algae and everything.
There for us, yo.
You know?
What I'm saying is we're relying on others to figure it out for us, yo.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about is taking it into our own hands by understanding that we can understand herbs to where it'll benefit us a lot more than just standing there, yo, and wondering when someone else is going to come help us, right? It's about gaining our individuality and stepping forward, you know what I'm saying? So the first step to healing, yo, is really knowledge, right? And so we gain that first in order to turn the tides within us, yo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this has been a wonderful conversation. I want to thank you for coming in, Tony.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, definitely. Tony will probably be making some regular appearances.
Every Monday we'll be doing this.
So if you're watching this, if you have any questions or you want to participate, let us know, because we can actually get you streamed into this. So make sure to give us a like, a comment, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or any of our feeds. Make sure to leave a comment, make a message, and then also too, make sure to check us out at Trips, Oregon. Let's see if I can pop up the little thing here. Do I have it? Nope. I don't have it. But yeah, make sure to follow us over at Trips. And you can check us out there, tripsoregon.com. Look out for some amazing brochures. We have them all over town. You can find them. But that's how you can check out some of the psilocybin things that we're doing here, very legally in this state. Yeah, my name's Willie T, and we go live generally every day. We try to do it around noon. Today we had a little hiccup, but we are back.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're not going nowhere.
Today's our first one, so.
Yep, and make sure to check us out at, take a look at our merch page and all that. Check out our meeting link and help donate to cause so you can help other people get these services. And go to soulfiremushrooms.com for more information about those great products. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, checking us out. And I think we're out. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping through.